or it's a few Saturdays, did a few nights?
I think we're beginning.
Okay.
I think Christina has that laptop
Oh.
set up and you can put the
The
USB
stick
in there, right?
Yes.
She can put her USB stick.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. This is our meeting of the Dobbs Ferry Zoning Board of Appeals, and we have 5 items on our agenda for tonight. So the first one is 29 Bel Air Drive. Is there anyone here to be heard on that? Okay, why don't you, whoever's going to speak first, step up to the microphone. While you're doing that, I will just mention what the application concerns. It's a proposed plan to build a new addition, and it requires 4 variances. The first is the front yard setback, where the minimum under the code is 25 feet, and you're proposing 20.5 feet. There's also a minimum side yard setback variance that's needed because the side yard setback is 10 feet, and you're proposing 4.53 feet. There's a side yard variance asked for also, and that's because the side yard setback, I think, for both sides is 25 feet, and the proposed side yard setback is 15.54 feet. And finally, the maximum lot coverage by a building is 25%, and you're proposing coverage of 25.58%, so it's a variance of 0.58%. So when you're ready, please tell us your name and your relation to the property.
Good evening. My name is Eva Buhasra. I'm an architect for Mr. Eric Larson, who is here with us tonight, and his wife. And we have a set of drawings to explain our application, and some photographs. As you mentioned, this is a single a family residence. It's a house located on Bel Air Drive. It's a okay. So the house is located in this center portion of Bel Air Drive, and let's see if I can zoom a little bit. There we go. Okay, and it was built in a colonial style. It has a first floor, which consists of living room and center hall, living room, and a kitchen with a small dining room. And it has a second floor, which has bedrooms and a bathroom. The location of the house is interesting because it the property actually is stretching between Bel Air Drive and Magnolia. So if you look at the site plan, you can see that the one end of the house, one part of the house, the part of the house that the family uses to enter the house faces Bel Air Drive. And then the property stretches all the way down to Magnolia Drive. Interestingly, if you look at the interior arrangement of the house, you see that the way the house was arranged is actually as if it was facing Magnolia Drive, because there's a formal front door and the front porch face Magnolia, and then sort of the rear of the house faces Belair Drive. And in addition to a limited size of the first floor, this is where the problem lies, because when Eric and his wife go in and out of the house, they basically come in through the living room, proceed to the hall, then they make their way back into the kitchen, and then somewhere there is the dining room. So what I would like to also pull out is some of the pictures that show what happens if you're facing Magnolia. So as you can see, this is how you would be approaching the house from the so-called front entrance. You would go from Magnolia up the stairs, side of the garage, and then you would proceed up a hill, up a set of stone steps, which is sort of like climbing a small hill or a small mountain. It's quite a hike. And then from there, you would approach the house itself. So this is not very practical, whether you're any person or whether you're trying to do it with small children. This is not really doable for them. So for this reason, what we're doing is we're trying to accomplish two things. One is make the so-called back of the house, which is really front part of the house for all practical purposes, more usable. Secondly, give them more living space so that their kitchen and their living room would become larger, and at the same time, we would create something that is a mudroom, and that is some sort of an area where people can put their coats and their bags and their shoes, because right now, unfortunately, that all happens in the corner of the living room.
Where's the car parking?
So there is no driveway
it's
on
all
the
street.
property, and there is no car parking. There is the garage, but the garage happens, so what I'm gonna do is go to the site plan, so we can look at the site plan and see what happens. So here's the site plan, and as you can see, there's few steps to come down to the back of the house, the front of the house, the actual front of the house, and then there's a garage, but the garage is on Magnolia. So you can pull into the garage, come out of it, and then make that hike to get up to the house.
Got it.
And in addition to that, they basically use the street parking on Belair, which is a very narrow street, and that's something there's nothing we can do about that. But what we're trying to do is have them come from this side and actually have an entrance and a mudroom and a little more space in the kitchen and the living room. So for that reason, we're proposing an addition which lines up with the two sides of the house, and this is how we end up with coming here and asking you for a variance, because the front yard is the line which you see here, which is 25 feet, and right now the house is compliant, but once we propose this addition, then we're protruding a few feet into that front yard. Specifically, we're going 4.5 feet at the sort of the deepest point of that addition into the front yard.
Can I ask you a question about that table?
Yes?
The only, I guess, negative change is the variance in the front yard, right? The other ones are variances that exist today. Is that correct?
The side yard variance basically means that this is a non-compliant side yard, and we're staying in line with it. That's the sort of increasing the non-compliance variance, which happens right there. And then as it happens, we are at 25.58% of coverage, and the allowed coverage is 25%, so we're 0.5% above. However, I have to say that this lot is smaller than an allowed lots in this zone. The requirement is 7,500 and the lot is only 6,700. So it's a small lot. The house obviously is not large. And this is partially why the lot appears to be a little more crowded with the coverage, because actually it's a smaller lot than some other lots in this neighborhood. If you just look at this sort of a general map, you can see that the lots across the street are substantially larger. The lots on Magnolia are larger as well. There's about 3 lots here, 3 or 4 lots here that happen to be particularly skinny, and this is one of them. So that's why we're sort of running out of the coverage so quickly without really doing much. One thing that is in our favor is that there's also the requirement of the prevailing front yard. And this house is unique by being set back and unusually sort of deeply. So as you can see, a lot of these houses have approximately 15, 17, 19 feet setback. This house is set back 33 feet. So it's actually very far back, and since we're putting on the addition, the resulting front ends up actually being closer in character to the other houses, which is what you can see in this schematic, right? Like here's the other houses and their front. And then this house just is like a missing tooth. It just like goes back.
Yeah.
The same thing happens with the height of this house. The other houses are taller and this house is low. So by putting on the front addition, we're actually just lining up more or less with the other houses, even though we end up asking for a front variance.
What is the 0.58%? Is that, by my math, it's like 39 feet? Is
Yes,
that right?
it's a very small amount. Yes, exactly. It's something like that, yeah. The 0.5% is something like 35, 40 feet, yes.
Okay.
And if you look at the floor plans, you know, we are really just sort of doing a bare minimum in order to increase the functionality of the kitchen and to have the mudroom. So there is really no easy way for us to take out another 30 square feet without compromising what the end result wants to be. And obviously, given the expense, you know, we would like it to be properly functional and not like too small. I actually did look at it as I was working on it. I was like, could I just take something away, just enough to make the 25%? But then it just is not working. Everything is already down to like an inch or foot or whatever. It's a pretty tight layout. So that's basically it. And then we have the elevations. These are the existing elevations. Here you can see the Bel Air side. And then if you look at the way it's proposed to look, so then, you know, there's the addition with the new roof, new kitchen windows, new living room windows. And then from the side, we're staying very closely with the character of the house, the slopes of the roofs, the types of the windows. So we are trying to make it blend and sort of make it look as if it always has been that way, so that it's not too obvious. That's about it.
Is there anyone else who'd like to be heard on this application? No one on Zoom? Do we want to have any discussion?
Okay, motion to approve this variance?
Second.
Actually, we have to close the hearing first. Is there a motion to close the hearing?
Motion to close the
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye. And then
Motion to
there's a
appro-
motion to
Motion to
approve.
approve these
Second.
variances.
Thank you.
You wanna take a
All,
vote? You gotta take a
yeah, let's
vote
take
on
a
that?
vote. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Thank you, good,
Thank
good
you.
luck.
Thank you.
And so the next application is 44 Hickory Hill Drive. And this is a proposal to extend an existing wood deck. And the plans require two variances because the minimum rear yard setback is 25 feet. And the proposal is for a rear yard setback of 5 feet, so it would require a variance of 20 feet. And also, a variance is needed for the side yard where the required setback is 12 feet and the proposed setback is 9.1 feet, requiring a variance of 2 feet 11 inches. And could you
Good
please
evening, Mr. Chairman.
tell us your name and
Does this work for the location?
actually, if you, yeah, it'd be better if you could move it a little closer to us.
Oh, to you. Okay, is that better?
Yep. Yeah.
Is
We
that good
have-
enough?
It's fine, we have that, I think we have this.
We-
Yeah,
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 got it
yes.
printed.
Yeah, you have. I've submitted the same drawing. For the record, my name is Sam Vieira. I'm the project architect. Mr. Andrew Goldstein, the owner, is here this evening also. It's a pretty straightforward project. Presently, in the back of the house, there exists an open wood deck that measures approximately 9 feet deep by 22 feet across. And what the Goldsteins would like to do is extend that deck and wrap around so that it connects to an existing stone patio on this side of the house. I'd like to point out that the house sits on a corner lot on the corner of Hickory Hill and Bramley, and the lot is slightly undersized. It's only about 8,000 square feet and change in a zone where it requires 10,000. When they developed this area, they were trying to respect the front yard setbacks because of the corner lot. So in essence, it's pushed the house back tremendously off of Hickory Hill. And if you look at the site plan that I submitted, almost half the house, the rear part of the house, is in the required rear yard. So that creates a situation, of course, where you require 20 feet. The present deck is actually at about 4.5. New York State Building Code does not allow for wood construction within 5 feet of a property line. So we're actually going to kick back the existing one just for code compliancy and then maintain that line across. And then again, we're going to have like this little diagonal chamfered edge and come back and connect to the existing stone patio. Therefore creating the second variance. Now, when we draw this on CAD, it comes up to 9.1 feet, 2.9. We're going to build it a little safer. It's about 6 inches in, so we don't have any issues with the as-builts.
Can I ask you, so there's this stone patio and then the wood deck, and are there steps or something?
There's
Where it's on
two
the same-
steps. So the property slopes severely from the rear to the front down,
Got it.
and then also from right to left. So the very high point of the property is actually this corner right here. So it's at grade. We're actually going to be very, very close to grade as we come around here, and the patio is at grade. So it's just, 2 risers, 1 step, 2 risers to get down to the existing stone patio.
And I don't think you submitted an elevation drawing, and so I was wondering, what's the height of the deck?
It's at grade. This part of the deck here is only about 2.5 feet above grade.
Okay.
But everything, I mean, you're literally walking off of it. As a matter of fact, we're going to sort of be building into the hillside. And so therefore, there's no need for railings. The code only requires a railing when you have a surface 30 inches above the next level.
The adjacent homes on Hickory Hill, next to Mr. and Mrs. Goldstein's home, how close to the rear yard do they run? Is it a situation where everybody on Hickory Hill is only 5 feet from the rear yard, or do most people have a 20-foot distance from their home to the rear yard?
I can't answer that, but I will say, again, this is because it's a corner lot. So like this neighbor on this side, their house has a side yard there, right? So their rear yard is this entire tract here. Once you clear the corner, you have a more of a traditional front yard, rear yard, and minimal side yards. The problem with this particular property is, again, it's been pushed off of both sides. So and because they chose, I guess when they developed it, probably because of the steepness of the topography, they chose to make Hickory Hill the front. They could have turned the house sideways and had much more room this way, but that's not the way they sited the house. So right now, technically, this backs up to the side yard of this adjacent property, although back here it's open. It is their backyard for.
Has there been any feedback from the neighbor on Bromley about whether the deck extension is too close to his or her property?
Well, I think it's the neighbor, the closest neighbors on Hickory Hill, I think, isn't it? No.
Well, depends, right? I mean, they're both,
I mean,
again,
closest
so
to the
both
extent.
neighbors, you're at, this house is adjacent to both neighbors' side yards, right? That's the thing. This yard is the side yard to this property line is the side yard to this.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this house faces Hickory, so they're both dealing with the same side yard requirement. The issue here is that this property doesn't have much of a rear yard.
I mean, I
And-
didn't mean to interrupt you from answering Mr. Gambos's question.
So I think that's something that Mr. Goldstein can answer. I mean, we were talking about that, the notices went out, and no one has made any comments or, shown any concern. Again, I want to reiterate, we're not going any closer, right? We're just continuing the same line and actually coming. And, because this house is sited here, whatever additional deck area is being created is actually getting further and further away from the actual house.
Anyone on the phone?
Is there anyone else who wants to be heard on this application?
Motion to close.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just comment. I had a little concern about it being pretty close to the neighbors on the Hickory, up the street on Hickory Hill. But I did visit the site, and there's sort of a difference in height, which I think and that's part of the reason I asked about the height. So if it's not adding, pushing it more in their face by being higher up.
No, not at all.
I think.
It's
I don't
moving
have a
towards
problem.
them, but it's not one of these situations where you're looking down and taking away their privacy or creating, like a visual impairment. And again, just to reiterate, we are maintaining the lines of both the existing patio that's there now and the existing deck. So we're not getting any closer to either of the neighbors on either side with the new proposed deck expansion.
Okay. Is there a motion to close the hearing?
Motion to close the hearing?
Second.
All in favor?
Thank
Motion
you all.
To grant the variance is consistent with the drawings dated May 9, 2025.
Is there a second? Yep. All in favor? Aye.
Thank you. Good night.
Okay, congratulations. Okay, and we're next going to call the 29 Magnolia Drive. Someone's here on that? Okay. Please step up. And this is a proposal to construct a new roof over an existing entry vestibule. It requires a variance of 8 feet because the front yard setback is 75 feet, and the proposed front yard setback is 17 feet. But as I think you'll explain, I think it's largely based on a non-conforming, an existing non-conforming use.
Correct.
Please tell us your
My
name.
wife Sharon and I live and own 29 Magnolia Street, and as you stated, the intention is essentially to take a flat roof over our entry portico and put a hip roof on that would be consistent with the existing terracotta roof that is on top of the house at this point in time. Use the same vertical lines all the way up, guttering around the outside, so essentially it's just going about 24, 28 inches above.
Anybody have any questions?
No questions.
Is there anyone who wants to be heard on this? And you sent out notices to your neighbors?
Mhm.
All right, motion to close the discussion.
I'll second that.
All in favor? The hearing is closed. Are there any motions?
Motion to approve the variance.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, it's unanimous.
Painless, thank you.
Okay, good luck to you.
All right.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
They didn't have the question.
Thank you again.
All right, good luck.
They should like it.
They should like it, it'll look better.
Yeah, it's a lot better.
Okay, our next application is for 15 Racing Lane. Who wants to be heard on this? And this is a request to legalize an existing shed, and it requires a setback for a accessory structure for which the code requires a 5-foot setback. This one has a setback of 1.3 feet, so the applicant is seeking a variance of 3.7 feet. And tell us your name and tell us about your application.
Hi, I'm Gary Bialy. This is my wife Susan Cohen. We live at 15 Racing Lane. And basically we're requesting the variance to legalize the shed so we don't have to remove it. It's been in that location since before we moved in. I have my original inspection. We didn't copies of it if you want. And I have actually a text from the old owner who's still friends with our neighbor that I could read or whatever,
Yeah.
showing that it's been there
30 years.
before.
What's in the shed? What's the
What's
shed used for?
The shed is used for lawnmower, all kinds of gardening supply, we use it all the time, and we're in the process of selling our house this summer. It would really be useful for the people that are gonna be buying our house. I also have a letter from the people that are near the fence where the shed is. That wrote a letter saying that there's no issue.
Why don't you read it?
Should I read it?
You can read it, or you could hand it up, whichever.
I'll do
It's
it
probably
quick.
better to read it, because
Yeah, I'll
everyone
just
will
read
hear.
it quick. Variance application for GB Alley and S. Cohen residents. This is from Julie Moy and Carrie Moy, 37 Brace Terrace. Dear members of the Zoning Board of Appeals of the Village of Dobbs Ferry, please accept this letter in support of the shed variance application by our neighbors Gary Bialy and Susan Cohen, owners of the residence at 15 Racing Lane. Susan and Gary have been our neighbors since they purchased their residence more than 28 years ago. In that time, we have not experienced any issues with their use and the existence of their shed. The shed was erected at its current location by the previous owner. We have no objections to their shed remaining its current location. The shed abuts the corner of our common property line, separated by a fence at the southwest portion of my property. The portion of my property is a wooded and undeveloped area. My house is located at a considerably higher elevation and is several hundreds of feet apart from the shed. The shed does not block our view, and its close proximity to our property line does not pose a nuisance to us. We strongly support Susan and Gary's variance application to allow their shed to remain in its current location.
I'd like to suggest that you provide a copy of that letter, Mr. Snow, along with the other document you referenced, so we have in our file.
Of
for
course.
storage, because these are important.
Yeah, I didn't know whether I was supposed to, I mean, I filled out everything you needed for the variance and the mailings and all that. I didn't know that I could hand this in soon. I thought I was supposed to just bring it tonight, but
No
we have
problem.
copies.
Not a big deal, just
Yeah, yeah.
give it to him so we have it.
Absolutely. I have copies of the text.
I'll take one of those.
Yep, okay.
And just so, the letter that you just read was from a neighbor on Brace Terrace?
Brace Terrace, that's up the hill from where the shed is. I can show you some pictures if you want.
Yeah.
Okay,
Is it tax lot 29 is on the plan that you submitted, is that?
The survey, you mean?
Yeah, the survey, because the shed looks like it's,
Yes, that's the shed.
the tax light, it looks like the lot that is adjacent to the shed or whatever is tax lot 29, and
That's the neighbor.
that's the neighbor,
Yes.
okay. There,
Yes.
got it.
The shed is close to only one neighbor, and this is the neighbor who wrote the
Yes.
letter. They can't
Correct.
see the
Yes,
shed,
tax
they're up
lot
there.
29, I'm sorry.
Got
Yeah.
Perfect.
They're up from us, and I have some pictures, basically shows, this is where the shed is, and their house is up there, and this is where the fence is, if you want.
That's all right.
Take a picture of it. And you can't see it from anywhere else either. And there's one from the front of the house. Here's the one from the front of the house.
John, do you want the pictures?
No, that's okay. I have this one.
And this is from the front
good.
of the house. You can't really even see the shed. Anyway. I mean, we can hand it.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, it's tucked away in there.
Yeah. And I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You
it.
have,
Any-
we have
any
a survey that
objections
shows
on
it was
that?
there for more than 28
Yes,
years. We've
from my
lived in the village for all that
inspection
time.
and the
It's been
woman's.
there forever, the same
Yeah.
shed. It only abuts one neighbor, they
Yeah.
said they can't see it.
Okay, Is there anybody on Zoom who wants to be heard on this application?
No.
Okay.
And we definitely did all our mailings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Signs
think I
up.
heard a motion to close the hearing.
Yes.
Is there a
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion
Aye.
to approve the application and grant the requested variance.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, good
Thank
luck.
you.
Yeah.
Good luck.
So should I give you
Yeah,
this letter?
yes, yeah, yeah.
Because they want to
Well,
keep it in the
I
file.
think you wanted this other thing too.
You have that?
Yeah,
Do you have a copy of that?
I do.
Okay, our last application, which we've gotten through very quickly,
Um,
is 15 Lewis Avenue. Is there someone appearing by Zoom?
hold on.
Okay, can you, yes.
Hi, everyone.
Are you there on Zoom?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, okay.
I'm just going to share my screen.
Okay, so this is an application concerning plans to construct a retaining wall and patio, and it requires a variance in the maximum lot coverage by impervious surfaces. And based on the building inspector's calculations, the proposed lot coverage is 3,391.5 square feet, which would require a variance of 211.62 square feet of impervious surface. So yes, tell us your name and tell us what you'd like us to know.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Marco Mandro. I'm the architect for 15 Lewis. So essentially, the concept is a new pervious paver patio with an outdoor kitchen and a prefabricated pergola. Being that the property is slightly over the 7,500 square feet minimum, there is an impervious surface reduction calculation. So between that and being that the property is not very large, we are slightly over. However, we have, compromised by first off, using pervious pavers, which per the manufacturer specifications specify that they are 50% pervious, but we've also compromised by including on the lower end of the slope of the patio, linear drains to capture any additional runoff, which would all be collected in a Coltex system within the property. The patio itself is actually tiered from the upper patio where the outdoor kitchen and pergola would be. It steps down to a smaller patio and then steps all the way down to an existing grassy area, which would remain grass. And this is where the Coltex system chambers would be essentially buried to collect all the additional stormwater runoff. The retaining wall, the new retaining wall would wrap the upper patio area to essentially retain all of that surface. So as you mentioned, we are slightly over the impervious surface requirements. We are requesting a variance for 211.62 square feet.
Is there any reason you could not use a patio surface that has a greater pervious and lesser impervious quality so that you do not need the variance?
So in our communications with the building department, even if there was a pervious, 100% pervious, essentially the town doesn't allow more than 50%. I have a communication correspondence with the building inspector, and 50% was essentially what we were told is the maximum that would be permitted. Even if the manufacturers specify a higher percentage, it just would not be accepted from our understanding.
So I have a question for the building department. What's that based on? Why could, if I wanted to use is it based, why am I getting a write-off or a haircut on the pervious surface material if I went 100% pervious? Why can't
There's nothing that's 100% pervious except grass, basically.
So
anytime you have gravel and a combination of gravel bluestone, gravel pavers, part of that is going to be pervious, and part of it's going to be impervious.
I've seen people mark it that they're going to be pervious.
Yeah. Okay. And then when we've talked to Anthony, you know Anthony, our engineer?
Yeah.
Anthony said, no, there's no way this is more than 50.
So the underground solution that they're doing will take care of any further runoff?
We're not worried about the stormwater. So what happened when I reviewed this application is the lot is a little bit bigger than the 7,500 square foot minimum lot. Because of that, it's really penalized in our code, and it's an oversized lot. So because of that, they take a deduction from a table we have in the code saying, okay, I think it's times by 0.87.
Well, I have 0.82. I have the calculation here.
Okay. So because it's an oversized lot by 316 square feet, he lost 259 square feet of impervious surface coverage.
Well, thank you for the explanation.
But we're not allowed to say, oh, it's close to 7,500. I'm not going to do oversized lot deduction.
Gotcha.
I think I'm just a little concerned that I'm not sure what we can point to on the record that shows us there's not an issue with stormwater. I mean, there's not like an engineer's report. I mean,
we didn't have an engineer's report. We have communication with a consultant from Coltech themselves. So they actually have provided the Coltech system, which we didn't submit that to the ZBA, but we did submit that to the building department. So they did the stormwater calculation based on the town's requirements.
For a 100-year storm.
For a 100-year storm, yes, exactly.
Okay. And you've seen that, John?
Yes.
Okay.
And this is also going to be reviewed by Anthony, our engineer, when the project goes to planning.
Okay. I'd ask that you make that a part of the submission to this board also.
Sure.
What's the grade of this? Sorry.
It's pretty steep.
Is it tilted back towards where that?
It's
is that where
tilted away from Lewis. So
Where the
towards-
patio is,
Yeah, so the patio is sloping, I just go to my other drawing. It's sloping down towards the retaining wall, but the grade up at the patio is not very steep at all. It's just, it drops off right where the retaining wall is.
and it looks like there's a patio there today, is that right? In the corner?
Yeah, so I can show you on my existing drawings. It's just kind of a demo plan, but this is the outline of what the existing patio looks like.
Okay, right.
So we're essentially extending this to these lines here, which would be where the retaining wall would be, and then the lower patio here, and then the lower portion would remain grass.
Was there any steep slope calculation associated with these general calculations? Would this I would have simplified the question. Would this
Was that addressed to me? I'm sorry.
Yeah, was this property considered a steep slope?
No, I don't believe it was because the area where the patio is not steep at all. If I go back to my plan, sorry. So like from the higher, on the north side of the plan, my elevation's at 242.1, and then right by the retaining wall, it's 239.6. So it's not a pretty, a steep slope.
I don't think that the steep slope calculation is best based on the immediate area, but on the overall property.
So the way this oversized lot deduction works is in our code, that comes first. You cannot then go and say you also have to deduct for steep slope calculation.
That's, I
So.
have to confess, new to me.
So because it's an oversized lot and we enforced the table for that, he already deducted part of his property. So the code feels it's not fair to deduct more of his property because it's on a steep slope.
Is there anybody else who's seeking to be heard on this? No?
Motion to close.
Do we have a motion?
Motion to close the discussion?
Second. All in favor? Aye. The hearing is closed and the floor is open for motions.
I'd make a motion to approve the application as submitted with the provisions of submitting a few other documents that have been stated earlier.
Yeah, including the engineering report.
Coltech,
Yeah.
the Coltech calculations.
Okay.
No problem.
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Get those other documents to the building department.
Yeah, 5
Will do. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, we are adjourned until September. Thank you all.
One thing I find strange about these